Hello, and welcome to Module 2. The purpose of this module is to begin researching information about specific populations. During this video, I will discuss the next readings, my initial thoughts on y'all's first module postings, and preparations that we need to make for our first face-to-face meeting. Now, just a quick note, after reading your introductory information, I'm excited that each of you have been in are in my class, and in fact I would love for y'all to be my travel agent. It seems like y'all have wonderful places to travel to, and they're very intriguing, so I would love for y'all to plan a trip for me, but we can talk a little bit more about that when we meet face to face for the first time. Now, as we get started with this module, I just want to let you know that I'm not going to post lecture slides on this module's chapters, as we will meet face to face, and I'd like to discuss this information that's covered in this module's readings at that time, so we'll get into more detail then. However, in thinking about the textbook chapters, I think you will find them easy to read and very concise. The content is interesting and allows the reader to learn enough new information so that he or she can research the topic further. Now, this module's chapters focus on Native Americans, African Americans, and Hispanics. All of these populations are important for Alabama educators, as we're seeing significant numbers of these particular populations in our schools. And I hope that you will learn enough from this content, at least so that you can go out and conduct further research in any of those three populations if you're so interested. In addition, the articles I have selected for this module speak to important issues for our gifted children. In particular, the Peterson article, which highlights the issues of adolescence homosexuality. This particular population has unique needs and in effect cuts across all cultural, racial, and socioeconomic status. So, as you read this week's information, I want you to think about the needs of the various populations discussed in the readings and how the pressures of identity, culture, and school cut across all populations. These are important issues for us to consider, as each cultural group has different needs and different criteria in which they deem as valuable, and as such those values will be played out in terms of what we identify as gifted behavior or gifted characteristics. Like I said, I'm not going to post a class conversation at the beginning of this module, as I want y'all to wait until we meet face to face to learn about VoiceThread. So go ahead and read this information before we meet face to face. At least get a majority of that information read, so that we can go ahead and start working with VoiceThread and talk about how we're going to use class conversations going forward. Now, as I move to last module's discussions, I've been impressed with my initial reading of your posts. I enjoyed reading y'all's thoughts about this information, and I am encouraged by y'all's analysis. While it's always cool to read y'all's positive thoughts, the aspects I really enjoy reading are the questions that you formulate and the criticisms that you have of the author's work. I know that the module has not ended, so I won't make comments on everybody. I won't make concluding comments about everybody's postings, but I do have a few comments on some of the information that I've read so far. For instance, I found that Katie Attic, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, had a good question about nonverbal intelligence assessments. Typically, Katie, these instruments are where students analyze pictures and figural analogies. When we meet face to face for the first time, I'll have an example for us to work through. So I also enjoyed reading Carla Scott's information, in particular a point about ongoing professional development. Great point. We all need to stay on top of our knowledge and stay committed to self-renewal. And so it's by participating in continual professional development that allows us to keep growing and becoming better educators. And finally, I really liked what Beth had to say and the important question that she asked the author when, she's right in wondering how can we merge the community and the classroom. I think it would be great if people could generate some ideas for her. For instance, can anybody think of a service learning project that would allow her to merge the community and the classroom together? These are just a few of my comments, and they do not reflect and does not reflect that I was pleased with everybody's work. These were just a few that I pointed out or pulled out of everybody's comments. As next week progresses, I will post additional comments about your postings from Module 1. For those who have not yet posted, please read through what those before you posted and model that work. Those individuals did a great job. Please excuse me, I do have a slight head cold this afternoon. this morning. As you prepare to meet face-to-face for the first time, we will set up a VoiceThread account and Skype accounts to facilitate communication. Also, we'll discuss the individual assignments and more detailed information about the class, so please bring any questions that you have. Until next time, I look forward to seeing y'all. Take care and enjoy Module 2.